Here's the adapted script with emphasis on certain words and added punctuation for correct emotional delivery. This movie features one of the most horrifying monsters I've ever seen. It's blind, but its hearing is razor sharp. The film is often dubbed as the Italian version of Resident Evil, so if you're faint of heart, proceed with caution. The story begins in an underground research facility where an experiment has gone horribly wrong. 3 survivors are desperately trying to escape through the emergency exit. Just as they're about to make it, the man leading the group suddenly turns around and shoots the other 2. One of them, a woman we'll call the scientist, gets hit in the leg. To make matters worse, the exit door slams shut, trapping them inside. As the scientist frantically bangs on the door, begging for help, she hears the terrifying growl of a creature closing in. She barely manages to crawl through another door before it slams shut, leaving her companion behind to be devoured by the monster. The scene shifts to the scientist stumbling into a medical room, where she quickly patches up her wound and changes into a security uniform. But just as she thinks she's safe, the growling returns. She hides behind some shelves, holding her breath as the creature inches closer. Meanwhile, a government task force has received a distress signal from the scientist. Their mission is to infiltrate the lab, rescue her, and retrieve a top-secret research log. They split into 2 teams, one to enter the facility and the other to provide cover from the outside. They're aware that a group of mercenaries is also after the research log, so they must complete their mission before the mercenaries do. As the task force descends into the bunker, they encounter deranged lab workers, forcing them to shoot to defend themselves. Outside, the second team gets into a fierce gunfight with the mercenaries. Overwhelmed, only 2 soldiers survive by jumping into a river. They regroup at a prearranged exit, but decide to re-enter the bunker to find their missing comrades. Inside, they find abandoned weapons, but no sign of their team. Unaware of the impending danger, they press on and eventually find the research log, which reveals a shocking truth. The scientists discovered an alien organism in Antarctica and used its DNA to create genetically modified humans in a project codenamed Adam. As they're about to leave with the log, they stumble upon the hiding scientist, but the noise draws the attention of the monstrous experiment. One soldier, Leon, feels a thick, slimy substance drip onto his shoulder. As he looks up, the grotesque creature strikes, pinning him to the ground. In the nick of time, the scientist grabs an axe and hacks at the creature, but it doesn't attack her. Just then, Curly, another soldier, arrives and fires several shots, driving the monster away. The 3 of them crawl into a ventilation shaft trying to reach the exit, but the creature continues to stalk them, following every sound. They manage to find another room to hide in, but a mercenary suddenly appears, demanding the research log. Before they can respond, the creature silently sneaks up on the mercenary and drags him away, killing him instantly. Seizing the opportunity, the 3 survivors make a run for it, but the creature reappears, separating Curly from the group. He ends up in a morgue, where a corpse suddenly grabs his arm and bites down. He fights back, eventually killing the reanimated corpse, but the encounter leaves him shaken. Back with Leon, he discovers something unsettling, a nursery in the scientist's room. It turns out these horrifying creatures were birthed by the scientist herself. She's the mother, and she's been using her cover as a scientist to manipulate others into rescuing her and her offspring. She even admits to it, saying she doesn't want to be trapped in the facility forever with her children. At that moment, she summons the creature to attack Leon. Just as Leon is about to be overpowered, Curly arrives and threatens the scientist, forcing the creature to stop. However, when Curly tries to shoot the monster, the bullets have no effect. Leon then grabs a flamethrower and torches the creature, reducing it to a charred husk. The scientist manages to escape to the surface, seeing the outside world for the first time. But she doesn't get far. Leon and Curly catch up to her, but she proves to be a formidable opponent, easily overpowering the 2 battle-hardened soldiers. As she's about to kill Leon, Curly wraps a rope around her neck and jumps down a shaft, pulling her to her death. Unfortunately, Curly has been infected during the fight. Leon, grieving the loss of his friend, returns to the surface.
Just as he radios for help, he collapses from exhaustion. When rescue finally arrives, Leon wakes up. only to attack the rescuers, having turned into one of the very monsters they were trying to escape from. And with that, the movie ends.